Hi, this is Dagmar, the spiritual healer, teacher, author, and speaker, and your guide throughout the treacherous waters of life and the twin flame journey. And I help you gain peace within your soul through spiritual healing, or what I call so quantum healing, past life regressions, and just my own soul wisdom, and helping you understand and connect with your soul and what's happening with you, and helping you grow in that area, and therefore bring more peace into your life and in your twin flame relationship. So anyway, today's topic is the exciting topic of what if you are afraid of your twin flame? And the reason I bring up this topic is because it's quite common, actually, to fear the twin flame. That's why we have twin flame runners, okay? And it doesn't have to be just one or the other party, the runner, or in fear of our twin flame. I mean, we can keep triggering each other as twin flames, and it could be fear on one party and then on the other party. I mean, it all varies, right? Depends on what's being triggered. And I'll go over today where the fear comes from. Why do we experience fear with our twin flame? Can we love our twin flame at the same time we fear them? And how do we deal with this fear? And what can we do about it? So anyway, stay tuned for the entire length of the video, and I will shed some light on the subject of fear around twin flames. And before we do that, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell button so that you get notified of any future videos I will put out. I try to put out videos every week. And also, if you like this video, if it spoke to you, hit the like button. I also love to hear from you, so if you have a comment to say, leave a comment below the video. I read them all. Also, if you have a question, you're welcome to post it there. Or if you have a suggestion about any kind of topic around twin flames, I'd be happy to take whatever suggestion you might have into consideration of making a video about it. So anyway, the other subject I would like to talk to you guys about is there is a twin flame group that I am hosting on Facebook called Twin Flame Relationships. And for those people who are local to the Denver area, I am hosting a twin flame social dinner on August 31st. That's a Saturday evening at 6 p.m. And if you would like to participate, come and join us. Meet me, meet other people, socialize, network, share your story, connect with other twin flames. It'll be a fun event. So I will post the Facebook group link below the video in comments so that you can join it if you would like, and the details about the social will be on the Facebook group. So anyway, just wanted to mention that one to you guys. Hope you guys can join us. That'd be wonderful. And all right, let's go into why are we afraid sometimes of our twin flame. What is that all about? And it's actually more common than not, because where fear basically comes from is our pain, okay? What we have experienced as far as pain. I know some people are different opinion. Some people say fear can be learned. I do not agree with that. I think that fear comes from our experience, our painful experiences, and especially if they're still unresolved within our space. If you take, for example, a small child may not be afraid of the stove until it burns its hand on top of the stove, and then it will display fear. Okay, it's the same with everything else. And so our fear comes from pain. And most of us have had other lifetimes with our twin flames, unless you split your soul just before this lifetime, in which case you wouldn't have had other past lifetimes with your twin flame. Which is highly unlikely. Most of us have had past lifetimes with our twin flame, and so therefore we also have had experiences that were painful with our twin flame. The twin flame ship, while it is by popular opinion kind of put on a pedestal as a divine entity, you know, we're still human, and we have lifetimes in which we have, you know, constructed themes or experiences with our twin flame that weren't very pleasant. Okay? Because for the soul, on a soul level, we're here to learn in this life, or in any life, we're to learn. The soul wants to learn, period. That's how the soul grows, and or becomes actually bigger in mass as we actually learn as a soul. And so that there is actually more in energy of ourselves there as a result of learning. And you know, that's what's the number one thing for the soul. And sometimes, you know, our experiences can be very painful, very horrific, and quite often, you know, and I know this probably sits very difficult with some people, is we have chosen them in between lives. We choose to have certain experiences, and, you know, you may wonder, why would I ever choose that? And well, because the soul, your soul wants to learn, and so it chooses certain experiences. And I know it's tough when we're in the flesh and we actually are feeling the pain, and we wonder, why the heck would we ever choose anything like that? But we do as souls, and thus between twin flames, the relationship hasn't been every lifetime a happily ever after fairy tale experience. You know, there's been instances in lifetimes where your twin flame probably has killed you, or you have killed them, you know, or there was other gruesome torture involved. Okay, it's, you know, that's just how it is. And for the twin flame ship, even, and you can say, well, what if, you know, if they love us, then why would they do us? Because they love us, because our twin flame loves us. And if we want to have that particular experience, they do it out of love, out of the soul's love for you. They help you have that experience, whatever that is. And it takes a lot of unconditional love to give you, if it's a gruesome experience, to give you that experience, because they pay a price for helping you have that experience on their end. Okay? It takes a lot of unconditional love. And you know, it may be hard for some of you to grasp this, and you may not agree with me, but the more you actually get involved in spiritual healing and in your own spiritual evolution, and, you know, you start taking more and more responsibility for what happens in your life and how you create that, you know, you start realizing just how much we are at cause of everything that happens to us in life. And that's just how it is. So as far as fear coming from our past, pain basically, yes, you know, some people think that with twin flames, it's pretty much just kind of fear of being intimate with them. We're afraid of being loved because we're afraid of being hurt. Yes, that kind of fear is there too. But also we have fear of other things with our twin flames in terms of getting hurt. Like I say, perhaps your twin flame has killed you in another lifetime. Perhaps you've killed them. Perhaps you've lost them. Perhaps they died on you. You know, perhaps, you know, you've been persecuted by them. They were on the other side of, you know, what you were advocating. Perhaps you were the spiritual person. They were not. They were the religious, you know, party that held persecutions against spiritual people. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, we could have had all kinds of experiences with our twin flames. And, you know, perhaps our twin flame has betrayed us, and so all of a sudden here they are, and we're afraid to get betrayed again because we haven't fully digested the last betrayal when they betrayed us, right? So there could be huge amounts of fears, or perhaps you've lost your voice, you know, as a result of being persecuted, or perhaps they, you know, told on you and you were arrested, or who knows what the relationship you had with your twin flame and what kind of experience you've had with them, and what you experienced, and what, you know, what the pain was and what it was about, and so forth. You know, there could be a multitude of different things. So, and when twin flames come together, all the stuff is triggered because they are the reminder of what you experienced with them. And a lot of times I hear, people are afraid of the unknown. It's not the unknown. It is actually the known we're afraid of. We know what we're afraid of. It's not the unknown. You may not know on a conscious level, but on a spiritual level, trust me, you know. And so it doesn't mean just because we're oblivious consciously does not mean your soul doesn't know. Because it does know all its unresolved experiences where there was tremendous amount of pain. And so I always chuckle, when people say I'm afraid of the unknown, because they do know. And I've done enough healings with people where I help them connect with the things they claim not to know. And it's a fascinating journey, it's a fascinating process, but it's a miraculous process because once we heal the underlying pain of our fear, the fear magically disappears because it's totally related to our pain. And so I want to just say that in my story, I was afraid of my twin flame. And I met my twin flame back in 2005. And, after about meeting him for the third time, or actually it was through a phone conversation we had after meeting about 3 times, and then we had a phone call, he said some things to me that really triggered some past fear with me from another lifetime. At the time, I didn't know this because at the time I was going through a spiritual awakening as a result of my twin flame. And so all the stuff I'm telling you now was quite the mystery back then, and that I had to discover for myself and learn and heal through and so forth. So anyway, so he triggers this immense fear with me, fear for my life, really. I was deathly afraid of him. And, our reality always confirms our fears, right? Because we ultimately create our reality with our vibration, so we're creating it with our fear, right, that we have, that we carry. And so here he's knocking on my bedroom window, 2 a.m. in the morning, and drunk out of his ass, and I asked him to stay away, and he just, it just snowballed from there because I ended up pulling his record, and turns out he had a criminal history up the yin yang, which is the confirmation of the reality of my fear, right? So it was quite the intense story. And I actually, this is part of my book that I wrote, which is called Meeting My Twin Flame. If you haven't read it and would like to read it, it's available on my website, which you can access through my YouTube channel. At the top of the picture on the right-hand lower corner, if you click on it, that's my website. Or you can get it on Amazon.com and read it for yourself. It's a quite the story, and but I came to a point where I realized that I was just as drawn to him as I was afraid of him, and I couldn't figure out what that was about, and it was literally tearing me apart. So while I may have been first sort of a runner, or at first we just met and it was no big deal, but then I became a runner, then I became an attacker because I was retaliating against him at some point. And it was fascinating unrolling all of that, and I ended up questioning what this was all about. I didn't know which part of me to trust, the part of me that was in so much fear, the part of me that was so drawn to him. And I literally felt very pulled apart by the whole scenario. And interestingly enough, during our process of getting to know each other, it was fascinating because I usually felt the fear when I was apart from him. And then when we would come together, like for dancing at a bar, right, around other people, I felt fairly safe. But not only that, I didn't feel the fear of him. I felt the love, the connection with him when I was close to him. And then when we, again, were apart and I was by myself at my house and he started knocking on my door and I started panicking and experiencing this fear again. It was fascinating to me how that was. How was that possible? And I started questioning all of that until I finally understood where the fear was coming from. And basically it comes from our dark shadow side. And the dark shadow side is the part of us that carries all our unresolved experiences, all our unresolved pain. And that's the part, that's the dark shadow side that contains the fear, because it comes directly from our pain. And so what can you do about that? What can you do when you're afraid of your twin flame, afraid to be in love with them, afraid to be close to them, for whatever reason? The biggest thing you can do is engage in a healing journey, okay? And actually do some deep inner soul work to resolve your past with your twin flame. That's really the key. That's really the reason why twin flames have come together, okay? Is to help each other basically resolve their past and offload the unresolved pain, to to integrate with the dark shadow side, so that we can rise vibrationally in this ascension process, so that we can become lighter as beings, so that we can grow from it, so that we can, spiritually be awakened and live our divine purpose and our divine destiny. And that is really the bottom line of why all this is happening to you, why you're afraid of your twin flame, why they keep running from you, and so forth. And it's not something you can just turn off. You can say, well, I'm just not afraid anymore. I just stopped being afraid. Well, whatever that underlying fear is, the pain that's there is still giving out the vibration of fear, even if you think you've turned it off, okay? Because you're still creating your reality with it, okay? You still may be avoiding a twin flame. You still may not feel comfortable with being around them or being together with them, or whatever the scenario is, okay? So it doesn't matter whether you turn it off or not emotionally. The key is that it's in your vibration. The unresolved experience is still in your vibration. That's generating whatever underlying fear. Whether you recognize it as fear or not is irrelevant, okay? So many people misunderstand this because, people say, well, am I still creating, something to be afraid of out there if I stop being afraid of it? Well, you don't just stop being afraid of something. You can mask the fear, you can block yourself from experiencing the fear, but the relevant part is that the vibration of the unresolved experience that's causing the fear, okay, is still there. It's kind of like, I'll give you another example. I actually had a pleasure of working with a former Navy SEALs one time. They're very much trained in experiencing no pain. One of the biggest questions he asked me, he said, well, if I didn't experience the pain in the first place, is there any pain there? I said, of course. Just because you turned it off in terms of feeling it doesn't mean that you physically didn't experience the pain and that it's not there. It's still there. It's kind of like when you're having a surgery and you are put under full anesthetic and you're unconscious. Does your body experience still pain when it's being cut open? Absolutely, it's still experiencing pain being cut open. You may not be consciously aware of it, but it's still there. I've healed, for example, surgeries or events of surgeries where, it was causing actually present time pain, the residue of the actual experience from the surgery that you were unconscious about. And when you did a proper healing and integrated that experience, that pain physically actually went away in the present time. So it's an interesting subject, And I hope this opens your eyes up a little bit. And, I just want you to understand where the fear comes from and that you can actually do something about it. Because once you actually heal the unresolved pain that the fear is causing, then you truly have changed your vibration to not attract that into your life, to not be creating that out there, and to actually be lighter. It doesn't help you to just turn it off, okay? So that you're not consciously aware. That doesn't do a thing for your fear. So anyway, I hope this makes a lot of sense. And, yes, we are afraid of each other because of very real reasons, let's say. Even though some people question, is the fear real or imaginary, right? Well, the fear is always real, but, the part that's imaginary is the fact that it's coming from our past, but we can be creating the present with it if we don't change it. We can be creating present time situations with our unresolved experiences, and often we do. And so it really behooves us to heal or properly integrate or transform the pain into wisdom for the soul. And if you don't know how to do that, most people don't know how to do this kind of deep inner work. I can help you with that. I also have an entire school that I put together where I can help teach you how to do this on yourself, and how to keep growing in your life, how to take advantage of this time right now that is this whole ascension process where you're more than ever supported to resolve these past issues right now, and to really clear your soul and clear all that clutter in your soul of unresolved stuff, all the dark shadow and so forth. And if you would like some help, please connect with me. I'd be happy to help you. And have yourself a wonderful day. Otherwise, I hope you do join our Facebook group, Twin Flame Relationships, and perhaps join us for the dinner social on August 31st. And if you're in the local Denver area. So hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys soon again.